Well, the first question has got to be, after what we've been hearing about this tour, how's your head?
It's fine. It's still there. It's fine. It's a bit sore, but nothing too critical.
What about the press reaction to this, which has seemed to be somewhat hysterical?
Yes, it is hysterical, but it's usually always hysterically bad. It's never really very supportive towards the group, which confuses me, but nonetheless. I think really, because there was an incident in Wales last week, and the Sun deliberately reported it in a very stupid way, I think what happened in Preston was really a direct result of what the Sun had written about. So I think the press, when they report things in a very hysterical way, can actually provoke things and continue them.
Press are fascinated by you, though, aren't they?
Yes, they are. I don't know why. I mean, they say I'm an anarchist, and they say very strong things about me, which aren't true. But because I'm such a generally gentle person, I think it confused them. If I was a very, very ostentatious, arrogant person, away from records, away from the stage, I think it would all fit in quite sensibly, and it would make some sense. But because I'm not, I think they get slightly confused by the whole thing.
I mean, you've done a lot of interviews and a lot of talking to the press. Right. Are you now bored with it and start to lie a bit? I'll tell you why, because I read a long interview with you in The Melody Maker, which described your younger years in Manchester. Now, I had younger years in Manchester, and I know Manchester pretty well, but reading your description of it was like reading something about a foreign land.
Why?
Because I just never encountered half the things you did. I mean, did you have that strange a childhood, or did I have a strange childhood, or was it lies?
Lots of it was lies. Lots of it was total fabrication, not by me, but by the writer in question, who was also from Manchester and who was raised in Manchester, etc. But so there was some fabrication. But no, largely, I mean, large blobs of it were quite true. Quite true.
So you don't regard your past in Manchester with much affection?
Well, yes, I do. Some affection, not too much affection. I mean, there were very stark, very strange things, but with some affection, obviously, yes. But I'll admit that most of what was written in that particular piece seemed very dark and doomy.
You're glad to get out of Manchester, because you don't live here very often now.
Well, for the last 12 months I didn't, but in recent months I have been. I have been for some reason. But it's not really glad. I don't really feel glad. I don't really feel unhappy to be away from Manchester. It's I can appreciate it, I can like it, and similarly with London.
Can you like both Rough Trade and EMI? This is the other burning question at the moment. Well, people keep saying, how does it feel now, of course, that you're a millionaire? Are you a millionaire?
I'm not even rich, which you obviously won't believe. I'm not even rich.
I believe it.
I know, well, maybe you do. I mean, one of the reasons why we have to move to EMI is for financial reasons. Not that we want more, but just that we want some. We've made lots of records which have done really well, and we've never seen any money for them. And we've never ever made a penny on tours, which have always been really successful. So really, in order to keep the group together in a sensible way, we do need some backing, which EMI offer.
Again, is that hysterical calls from the music press of sellout?
Well, I think they'll get over the whole thing. I mean, when we signed to Rough Trade, the music press said we signed for £250,000. We signed to Rough Trade for £5,000, which at that time just covered equipment. So in essence we really signed to Rough Trade for nothing, but everybody said, all the press has said it was a hysterically huge amount, which is totally untrue. The same thing is happening now. It's just the way the press are, I suppose.
It's all an interesting turnaround, because of course you wanted to be at least a music journalist, or you wanted to enter the journalistic profession. Do you think if you had have done, you would have been making the same hysterical responses to another Morrissey?
I don't think so. I really don't think so, because I was very interested in music, and not really gossip and hearsay and such things which really seem to form the heart and the kidneys now of the music press. So no, I was always interested in music and not just really barroom gossip, as it were.
I think The Queen Is Dead is the best LP you've made, do you?
Yes, I do.
Will the next one be even better?
Yes, it will be. Even stronger. Even stronger.
People keep saying as well, the other great rumour is, I can't see the Smiths staying together much longer.
No, but people said that at the very beginning, even only in a small way. People have always said that, and I think they probably always will. Maybe, I think there's lots of people who, even if they like the group, they would like to see some disharmony, but there really isn't any, so there's not really much that I can say. People will gossip, I suppose.
You think part of the problem is that you do get a lot of the spotlight? I mean, even over and above Johnny. And I mean, I'm guilty of it as well. We tend to ask you about you rather than the Smiths.
Well, is it a problem? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I don't court publicity. And so this is the standard phrase about me, is that I'm desperate for publicity. I'm not. If people didn't say a thing about me for the next 12 months, I'd be quite happy. So, I mean, even with the Queen is Dead and vegetarianism and all those other themes that generally people think are attention-seeking devices, it just really isn't true. I honestly don't care if people don't want to interview me for another 20 years.
And yet the recent City Life interview called you self-publicising, amongst many other things.
Amongst, yes, but that's also thrown around quite a lot. I don't know why. I really don't know why.
Let me read you this list of adjectives about Morrissey and see what you agree with. Arrogant,